Thanks, Tim. Well, thanks everyone for joining in. I'll rattle through this pretty quickly in the interest of time. Not a huge amount of content changes from the last time we spoke, just a few little updates. So we'll get into it. The important notice, so I assume everyone will read that carefully. So Star Minerals, this is where we are, basically either side of Meekatharra. We've got the Tumblegum South project, which is our far more advanced project. It's a gold resource. It's approximately 40 k's south of Meekatharra. And the West Briar package, which is a large package of exploration tenements to the north of Meekatharra, about 140 k's north of Meeka. It's slightly kind of longer term for us, but it's a very exciting patch of ground. So that's sort of the next place we'll be focusing on. Why Star? As Mark from Oric pointed out, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of companies in the market. I think the proposition for Star is reasonably unique in that we're a spin out of Briar Resources, and you'll be listening to Ash later on, but Briar itself is a spin out from Australian Vanadium. So we get the benefit of being a junior. So we've got the kind of nimble aspects that you expect to see from the junior mining sector, but we've got the support of those organisations as well. So it means we can support more staff. We can share back office functions, accounts and bookkeeping and things like that, which means I don't have to support all that on my own headcount. And obviously that means we can put more of our money into the places where it'll make a difference. So it's a real benefit to us. So what we'll talk about today, I'll give you a quick corporate snapshot. We'll give you the operational activities and corporate activities that we've been up to, our planned works, the indicative budget that we've kind of been working from the IPO, and opportunities that we see in the future. So corporate snapshot, just a real quick overview. Share price is actually 18.5 cents as of this morning. You'll see on the chart there, it bounces around. We listed at 20 cents. We've seen some bouncing backwards and forwards, pretty much just following what else has been going on in the market. But tightly held, and it's held up pretty well. Cash balance is still strong, 3.9 million. So yeah, look, not too much to talk about there. If anyone would like more detail, then sing out at the questions at the end. Operational activities, where the rubber meets the road. So we listed on a Wednesday, and we're on site on the Friday and drilling on the Saturday. We hit the ground running. Got things going very quickly. And part of that is, like I said, we've got the support from AVL and Briar, which means that we can share logistics and staff. It means we can get things done a lot quicker. COVID has meant that Western Australia has had its borders shut. It's tough to get people and equipment across. So if we were a typical junior trying to recruit in this market, we'd be still waiting on someone to come across and quarantine and all the rest of it. As the mining industry here is humming, it's hard to get staff otherwise. So that's been a massive benefit to us. So our first phase of drilling at Tumblegum South, we completed 25 holes for just shy of 2,000 metres. We planned 1,500 metres. We drilled more basically because we found mineralisation continuing, and obviously when you've got good geos on the rig and they see that, they're going to keep the hole going to find out exactly what's there. So that's what we did. So very successful program. Most of it was designed to be infill drilling, basically on the indicative kind of pit design that we inherited from Briar. you know, it was mainly done around that, just to further inform that resource model. So these results were released 25th of Jan. I'll just quickly scoot through a couple of sort of the highlights here. You'll see the hole that's highlighted, number 8 from the drilling program. You know, some good numbers, some good consistent hits sort of all the way through with all of these holes. 2 sort of notable hits there on hole 8. And if we look at, you know, the total for hole 8, every significant intercept, it was, you know, a pretty successful hole for us. It's worth noting as well that hole was supposed to finish at 120 meters, and then you'll see, you know, it carries on. We have a number of intercepts after that. Just a quick plan that sort of provides a bit of an overview. Red dots, obviously the collars, and the red lines are the drill hole traces. I will point out the last line, there's a number of holes that have still got assays pending. A little bit of confusion, I suppose, is the polite way to put it, with toll and the assay lab. Someone has lost some samples somewhere along the line, and that's fine, that's what happens. We've been very fortunate. We had a crew out to site. They've managed to resample those holes from the piles that were left behind by the drill rig. So those holes have now been submitted, and we'll hopefully get results back reasonably quickly. Just a cross section, basically, you know, indicating exactly what the intention was with the drilling. You can see the hole there, BGRC 36. That's one of the original holes that Briar put in. That was used to make, you know, to put the information together for the initial maiden resource. And then obviously you can see our pattern of drilling there, just to basically surround that and provide more information. So that initial inferred mineral resource, around 600,000 tonnes at 2.2 grams a tonne for just over 40,000 ounces. So we're quite confident, and the reason we're quite confident, as you can see, you know, especially in this section here, plenty more intercepts, you know, giving us confidence that the mineralization is continuous and that there's plenty more gold in that system. So the resource update, we're looking forward to getting that and seeing what the numbers come out to be. So on sort of the corporate level, we've signed new contracts with Bureau Veritas for assays, basically for the waste characterisation work. One thing that's going on in Western Australia is obviously lots of mining and exploration activity. It's making it quite hard to find assay labs that can do work. So we've been fortunate with BV. We've managed to lock in a lab over in Adelaide for some work we require, and Impact Drilling as well. We're going to utilise them for some further extensional work at Tumblegum South and the West Briar as well. The environmental approvals work is carrying on. We're at a little bit of a hurdle now, just waiting on the waste characterisation work. That material will be submitted this week, and hopefully as soon as those numbers come back, that work will be able to continue. We've engaged an external consultant that is now doing a resource update for us. So that work's underway. And on a more sort of business development, sort of true corporate activities kind of sphere, we've been talking to a number of parties, basically trying to you know, come up with a good way to make sure that we can monetize the Tumblegum South asset. We're open to pretty much any deal. So we've been talking to a number of parties, whether we do an ore sale, a JV, any combination really. We're open to most things. So those conversations are ongoing. And also allied with that, we're talking to a number of parties about picking up other assets, either around Tumblegum, around the West Briar, or indeed elsewhere in Western Australia, just to see what's out there as things are always changing in this industry. We're keeping our eyes and ears open. So planned works for us. We have another phase of drilling planned at Tumblegum South. Basically, we're waiting to complete the model and the resource update, and then we'll use that as a bit of a sanity check on the work we've already done, and as a way to further inform our targeting. And then we'll go there and hopefully be able to pick up some incremental ounces just by drilling, as suggested by the resource model. The West Briar has been slow to get off the ground, basically, as we've been focusing on Tumblegum South. So we'll give the West Briar some love, get some crews out there. As we set out in the prospectus, our intention was always to start our work out there, and we'll get out there. We'll commence some soil sampling and some RAB work, and may be able to accelerate that process a little bit further. And from the wider business kind of side of things, we'll obviously keep our efforts going hard to get Tumblegum South into production. And there's a number of things we've got to do there, but they're all in train, and we'll just keep ticking off the checklist and working our way through that. So the indicative budget here I've got is as per the prospectus. Now, the absolute numbers will change, but I leave it up here basically as a way just to give people an indication of where our priorities are, and why I do talk about Tumblegum South so much more than the West Briar, is obviously that's where the bulk of the spend was targeted to be. That was always the intention when we listed, to really focus on that and get it into production as quickly as we could, however we could. So that's why the spend is very heavily weighted towards Tumblegum South. But the West Briar still has an allocation there, so we'll be making sure we give it some love. So opportunities, obviously the West Briar is the biggest one for us. Our package there is large already, and there's opportunities there to potentially add to that as well that we'll keep examining. But we'll definitely be getting in there with the soil sampling efforts and early drilling works. And the other options that happen, I mean, it's a tragedy what's going on in the Ukraine at the moment, but there's opportunities there as well as that results in a lot of changes, sort of in the macro sense, and how that will affect the market. Companies may choose to focus more on the likes of nickel, platinum group elements, things like that. So potentially gold assets or copper assets may become non-core for them. So obviously we'd like to be able to pick up anything like that may end up on the shelf. So we're just keeping our eyes and ears open and being open to any opportunity, trying to be flexible and stay nimble and keep open to what may be out there. So in summary, we've completed the first phase of drilling activities at Tumblegum South. The assay results have definitely supported the strategy that we've had. That was to continue the work on that resource and get it up to scratch to start mining activities. So we'll keep pushing that, and we'll keep accelerating. We'll be able to put more efforts into the West Briar as well. Tumblegum South has got plenty of stuff going on, but we'll be able to focus on the West Briar as well. Corporately, we're going to, keep pushing away at Tumblegum, but, remaining open to other opportunities and seeing what else may be out there. So that's us. Look, we've got the contact details up there. We're on LinkedIn. We're even on Twitter. We're even on Facebook. God help us. But if anyone would like to contact us, by all means, if you just want to know more about us, or if you have an opportunity or something you'd like to talk about, please reach out.